How's it going, everyone? Happy Friday out there. Almost there. Weekend's almost here. All kinds of fun stuff going on. Very exciting times. And hopefully, if Richard keeps tweeting these bullish tweets, maybe one day we'll see his prophecy turn into reality. Maybe another 10,000x, you never know. Got a special stream this morning, conversation with PulseChain. Well, FireWhale is in the green room right now. He's about to come up and talk PulseChain, SolidX, all the fun stuff happening in the ecosystem. So without further ado, welcome to the show for the first time, FireWhale. How's it going, sir?
Hey, RHMax. What's up, buddy? Great to be here. It's our first time, I think, having a conversation in the stream. So I would like to congratulate you for being one of the few ones that are still real in the community, in the way of you are supporting the RH cores like no one else, and it's very important at this stage, I think.
Somebody's got to talk about them. It's one of those, I keep saying, it's like, why don't you do all these different coins? And I'm like, there are some coins that I like more than others, and there's, of course, have people on the show to talk about them and everything else. But I just feel like there's this need for not everybody can just go create their coin and go talk about that all the time. And just I really want, like I said, I want HEX to,
yeah. People in PulseChain, they can create their coin, but they are not Richard, and we cannot forget that there's a difference there.
Yes,
but at the same time, PulseChain requires people to create their own tokens and projects, so that's kind of part of the deal. But Richard Hart stuff is Richard Hart stuff, of course.
He's a special one. That guy, he's pretty cool. And there's plenty of people in the ecosystem that have had for the last couple of years. I was thinking about this too, like with SolidX and you and everyone on that there, and then there's some other ecosystems, like sub ecosystems within PulseChain that haven't haven't had all kinds of issues, haven't did all these things. And I'm looking back the past couple of years, and like these projects, last year, 2 years since PulseChain launched, and there are a handful of projects at least that I've seen, I've came across, and I've talked to the founders of that are doing well, and I hope will do very, very well once PulseChain takes off. So congrats for the success so far, and hopefully many more mad gains to come.
Yeah, I think my token did very well so far, like SolidX, mostly because of the first 12 days after it was launched. It was like a new all-time high every day, and everyone who joined the boat, they made some profits. And I did my best to try and keep the price high, but I couldn't, because a lot of people had big bags, and also PulseChain sentiment was and price action was going down. So it was what it was, but now the next wave is coming, and that's why I'm here to talk about what's coming for PulseChain and for SolidX.
Next wave, very, very exciting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's if you don't mind, we can start there. Like for people who are not familiar with you and your introduction to the ecosystem, like how'd you find Richard? How'd you find PulseChain, HEX? Like were you early in HEX, all that stuff? What's your story?
Yeah, it's interesting. I was very early in HEX. I was a bit lucky because I found Richard Hart YouTube channel like 6 months before he launched HEX. That's when I found out about him. But I was already in crypto since 2016. 2017 was when I started investing more, because I was still young back then, and only then I was having some income to put in crypto. And so in 2017, I invested in more than 12 ICOs at the time, with around $15,000, which was a lot of money for me back then. And all the ICOs, I lost money. So I was rugged in all of them. And I had to learn it the hard way. So I found out that it was hard to trust people in crypto, but I still believe that crypto had a lot of potential if you find the unicorn coins or the projects with product market fit. And I never stopped looking. But then you cannot join a community, a coin like Ethereum or Bitcoin or Cardano, because your gains will be very limited when compared to baby gains. When compared to a new token that has a good team and has a lot of room to go up, you can make much more gains when compared to like a big market cap coin like Ethereum. So since 2017, even though I was losing money, I never stopped looking for the right opportunity, and I was trying to find the right coin because back then I already kind of understood the game of crypto, which is like, I see crypto has competition of currencies. Everyone is launching their own currency to see which one is the best or which one can reach higher price performance, right? And I was like gathering my money. I was working back then. And then in 2019, I already had around 350 Ethereum, because in early 2018, I created my own company and I started making more money compared when I was like working on a salary-based structure. So around 2017, 2019, I mean, I already accumulated around 400 Ethereum, or it was more, I think 600 Ethereum. Back then, Ethereum was like $300, you know? And that's when I found Richard on his live streams. And as soon as I found like one or two of his videos, I started becoming obsessed about him and like following all his content and old videos when he still had like long hair and looked like Dr. You know, this Dr. Mystery, or I don't know, with the finger on the mouth. I don't,
Oh yeah. What was his name from Austin Powers?
yeah,
Doctor something.
Dr.
Yeah, Doctor Evil. Sorry, there you go. Yeah.
Dr. Evil. Even though, yeah. So looked a bit like that, like a geek guy, kind of a nerd that had a lot of knowledge about crypto and was very honest in his communication. And that's what I was looking for at the moment. I was looking for honesty and good people, because crypto was and is full of scammers up until today. And it's such a good technology that people naturally take advantage of it to make some quick bucks. But I also knew back then that when you do something well and long term, you have potential to make much more money on it than some quick scam, you know, pump and dump coin. So I was still looking for the unicorn, and when I saw that he was trying to launch HEX and the first CD on the blockchain and stuff, I was really like interested about it, and I really decided. There was a moment, one of his streams, I don't remember exactly when, but one of his streams when he was promoting X and talking about it, and he hyped it up so much that I decided to go big on HEX during the adoption amplifier. So I'm one of those that FOMO'd a bit on the first day, because I missed the videos where Richard was warning people to not go strong on the first day.
What was the one he compared it to? He's like, don't FOMO, because he did the charts with some other crypto, that the one that got
iOS, I think it was
iOS or EOS.
EOS, yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I thought it was just a one-day thing, but then it wasn't. So eventually it was better for Richard than HEX, I guess, because on the first day I put like 90 Ethereum, which was like I don't know exactly how much it was, like 50K or 70K in on the first day. But then I realized, oh, this is like 1 year. Okay, so then I adapted my strategy and I decided, okay, I will go stronger. I will put more during the first 3 months. And then after the first 3 months, I will wait and see what happens. And you see, it was a very good thing that the adoption amplifier lasted for 1 year, because 365 days were enough time for Richard to accumulate a lot of Ethereum to then pump us to the moon, you know. And he would not be able to do that if it was just like a sacrifice like PulseChain lasting 2 months. Maybe he wouldn't get so much capital in terms of ETH to pump us to the moon like he did. So on the first day I put like 90 ETH, and then during the course of the next 3 months I put in total 350 ETH, which was around $170,000. During the first 3 months, there were a few days that I catch close to all-time lows, 1 or 2 days. So I was able to scoop a lot of HEX. And then I made big moves with my HEX bag, because I had around like 150 million X in the beginning, and then I staked half of it for longer than 10 years, half of it. And then the rest I staked it for like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. The remaining like 75 million HEX. And eventually it was so perfect the way I did it, because I didn't do a lot of stakes. I only did like in total maybe 8 or 9 stakes ever on my main wallet, the FireWhale, because I didn't want to have a lot of small stakes to pay the transaction fees, because I'm a big player. I would pay like even higher fees with my big stakes on every stake. So I tried to do it like in an optimal way, the CD, the HEX stake. And I made like mostly 10 years ahead into the future, and the other half like short term. And that was that. And then on the first year, it was already amazing performance. Everyone was very happy. But then in the second year, 2021 was like madness. I've never experienced like such unbelievable, like, gains, mad gains. Like the second year of X was really like masterfully played by Richard. He had a plan. He made promises like, 10,000x, and if he did it, because it could be just speculation, but he got there. So there's a lot of credit to do it, and he changed a lot of people's life, including mine. Even though I was already a millionaire when I invested in Hex, but I became like deca millionaire after that. So I'm very thankful for Richard, and then like for everything since the beginning. So I made a lot of money with Hex, and then I still had a lot of Hex staked into the future. I never made an early end stake. And then people sometimes forget, but when the PulseChain sacrifice came over, the Hex price was around 15, 17 cents, I think it was. So like 15 times more than what it is right now. And even though I only had around 70 million Hex liquid back then, because I had one of the stakes just expiring before the PulseChain sacrifice. So I decided to like go strong on the sacrifice, and even though it was just 75 million Hex, which today would be worth like maybe
$5.
200k, like bucks, right? In that moment, it was worth 7 million, and then I even put like 1.2 million of other coins on top. Mostly was Hex, and then I made a total of 8.3 million sacrifice, ranking top 10 on the list. And it was an amazing feat, because I wanted to be. I had this vision, a long time ago on Hex. I was so happy with Richard that I wanted to try to be a big player on PulseChain. Whatever PulseChain would be, I wanted to be a big player there. So
Yeah,
I decided to go full all in on the PulseChain sec.
Yeah, if I can ask you on that too, like because back then too, I mean, it was sacrifice was like, oh, this is no brainer. We're going to the moon. Like Richard's, like, I mean, he's conquered everything. Ecosystem's in great shape. Like Hex is, still doing phenomenal, even though, went down from its all-time high. What made you think that like this sacrifice, like, I don't know, did you feel the FOMO? Did you feel like this guy is going to like you're investing in like a ecosystem that's just going to, at least in the long run, going to win? What did it feel like to do that?
I went deeper than that. That was like kind of the superficial reaction, what you were talking about. But then I realized that what Richard was actually doing was Richard was trying to save the gains of Hex users. So he wanted to save the bull market gains into the next bear market. And that's effectively what he did in a way. Maybe he will do it again. Maybe now on the top of the next bull cycle, he will launch another sacrifice or whatever. I don't know. Would be interesting if he would. But that was really his goal, because he knew that Hex was going down. He knew that we were going to have a correction, 98%, like all the other alts. And he tried to save us, and he did, because we had to wait a long time for PulseChain, like 2 years. But when PulseChain was live, people had the double and the triple on the first few weeks on their bags, so they had the opportunity to take profits and make some good money if they didn't hold. The opportunity was there anyway. But I agree with you in the sense that after PulseChain was live, I was a bit like disappointed with the performance of the chart. I was not the guy that was expecting also like 100x off the bat, some crazy gains, but I expected like a better performance in general, and it was a bit disappointing. But when PulseChain was live, I also took the decision of taking my bag almost in full and farm on the PulseX farms to become like a yield farmer. And I think it was a great decision because back then the inflation of ink was very big and the price of ink was huge. And I decided to make this move where I would never buy ink. I decided to myself, I will never buy ink, but I will farm it as much as I can. And that's what I did. And by doing so, by farming for so long, since the beginning, I am now like top 3 holder of ink in the community. And I still am very, very bullish on ink because, I think Richard is a very trustable person. And on the contract, he's saying that he plans to make it a DAO. And I hope
there's a comment. There's a comment in the code for that. I think that wasn't that copied over from the other, like it's got the potential to be, but I'm not sure that was from the first devs, was it?
Maybe he copied from PancakeSwap, you think?
I think that's the story, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
But it still has the capability to do it. I don't think like Richard himself put the comment in, or at least haven't seen that.
Exactly.
Before.
I'm not sure, but if you think deeply about it and all the Richard Hart cores, which ones you think makes more sense to be like a good investment from all of them? I mean, this is a difficult question, but to get HEX, you need to buy HEX and stake it and stuff. But to get ink, you either buy it or you can farm it. And the ones who farm it are the liquidity providers, which should be one of the most important actors on any layer 1, people who provide LP, total value lock, TVL. So only the real ones, so to speak, were farming ink. So that's why I think ink will explode at some point, like over $30, maybe $50.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning we saw it was $80 was the all-time high of ink. The first couple weeks.
I think 80, 85 was the all-time high. And then we went down to 50 cents, I think it was the all-time low. And now we are sitting at $2. Yeah.
Not bad volatility and buying opportunities. I'll say that. Mm-hmm. What do you think after
the smallest? Sorry to interrupt, buddy, but ink is also the smallest market cap from the cores. So just that fact alone gives it a lot of potential to do a lot of gains. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think about the inflation cut for? I mean, HEX of course had one OA staked, laddered out for years, cut the inflation. Mm-hmm. The ink got cut like 3 times or so. It's like very, very little compared to what it used to be. What do you think about that in general? I guess as someone farming, how do you feel about it? As someone bullish on the ecosystem, I assume, how do you feel about it?
So even though as a big player I have long HEX stakes and I was farming ink, so it affected me personally. It was very bad for me, like directly. But I was telling like my friends and close people in private that I thought that X was hyperinflating, and it was not the way. And also ink was the inflation was a bit too high because at some points, like I was on ink, I was doing like 100K per day in ink, and it was not sustainable, Even though I was not selling much, other guys were selling, and eventually it adjusted. And when it comes to HEX, it was also hyperinflating. Why? Because even though it affected me directly, I also know that I had some 10 and 15-year stakes with the big payday bonus. You remember, from the guys that only staked during the first year. Mm-hmm. And the gains were just absurd. With the 75 or with the 50 million stake of 10 years, I was going to get 1 billion or more HEX in 10 years time. You see? Yeah. So with the 50 million stake, I was going to get 1 billion on each chain. You understand? On each chain, I was going to get 1 billion HEX. So that's why I was always saying, like, it's too much. And then I didn't speak with Richard directly, but eventually he decided to drastically release both the inflation on HEX and on ink. And like I said, it was negative to me, but I really love the decision because long term, it's the best thing you can do. Everything that inflates is bad and devalues the currency, everything that inflates. And he cut the inflation to the max as much as he could. and it's gonna help the chart long term. There will be less sell pressure, much less, And the stakes, I was gonna get 1 billion hex with this one stake on each chain, and now I'm gonna get like half of that, or even less. So it's a big cut, and it's less sell pressure when we get there. And I know I was not the only one that in the first few months made stakes of 10, 15 years. So, when hex is 10 years and 15 years, there will be a lot of new stakes coming and a lot of sell pressure. So now there will be much less sell pressure because Richard decided to take action against the inflation. And that's what we should do. What you should do more and more is like prioritize deflation and buy and burn rather than inflation, because inflation already is what corrupts the financial system and every currency around the world is the inflation, and we want to take that away and reverse it in crypto.
Well, especially with hex, it was with ink. It affected them both differently too. Or ink, it was like, okay, ink's got to be worth something, or people won't farm it. It's got to be worth some dollar value. But if there's too much of it, there's like a ton of sell pressure, all that. On hex, though too, it's like we were 38% APY, baby. Selling it like you can make yield with hex. Like the inflation is one of the key points of the product. Like, why would you buy hex? Because to get more hex, and you get a lot more hex if you stake it, and longer pays better, all that stuff.
Exactly.
Why now?
Of the CD.
Why now though? Like, why do you think after 5 years, with hex and with a couple years with ink, like why cut the inflation now?
Because he realized that there was a problem there, and I really like that about Richard, because it shows that he's flexible and he will adapt depending on the circumstances. If he would be stubborn, he would say, no, the inflation is good on hex. Let's give billions of hex to everyone, and ink even more. But he's thinking long term. He's like using a long term vision to his project, and he realized, it's too much. I need to cut this down. And maybe he realized why, because maybe he figured that the buy and burn of PulseX was not outpacing the deflation on PulseX, was not outpacing the inflation on hex and ink, and as a market maker like he is, he can get access to this criteria, this data, and take action on that with his devs if he has good APIs to show that. But yeah.
What do you think? He's talked about wallet. He's talked about making a stable coin for exchange I'm building, like the famous piece from all the dev notes and stuff a while back. What do you think the next official product will be? Like, do you think we'll see? I talked about super app before, like more than a wallet. It'll like connect to exchanges and PulseX, and maybe you'll earn ink or something from using it. Just all kinds of different ideas. But what do you think are we going to see something this year other than mega marketing?
It's a good question, but so far I don't see anything like at least announced from his side. Now you have this marketing campaign. Maybe it's related to that. Maybe the marketing campaign will highlight some tool, maybe we'll direct people to Liberty Swap, something like that. Possibly, I don't know. I need to wait and see. But the wallet, we already have guys working in wallet like KG from Internet Money Wallet. Of course, his wallet would be like his wallet, because the wallets need a lot of respect and reputation from the devs, that they know what they're doing, because it's like sensitive tech. But I think it needs to be something related to PulseX. He needs to launch something around PulseX that is a game changer, or something related to the farms, or something, a new tool. Because how do you bring people to our community, RH? We need to bring people to PulseChain, right?
Meme coins.
Meme coins.
I've been trained on that. Meme coins. They're how we onboard people.
It's a good way, actually. Unfortunately, the history tells us that it, half joking, but it's true, because the history tells us that meme coins work, and they work a lot on Solana, and that's why Richard got inspired from pump.fun and kind of upgraded the idea and made it on PulseChain. With few examples, like the guy on pump.fun was all the fees were going to one address of one guy, and he made all the fees going to buy and burn PLS and PLSX, which it means it's working for the community, which is fine. But before that was also available like CoinQuest from 9inch, which was already a fork of pump.fun. He kind of ignored completely the coin quest. I guess he had his reasons, and now we have pump.tires native to the whole ecosystem. And because Solana made the meme strategy and coins popular, now when Richard decides, all the audience that are investing in memes, they will be able to rotate fast and almost instantly to the PulseChain memes via Liberty Swap, or even maybe via SolidX. We have some works in the process. Cannot speak too much about it, but maybe we will offer a solution as well for almost instant bridge from any chain, any layer 1 to another layer 1 in one block time, like 10 seconds. On case of PulseChain, we have 10-second blocks. So in one block, 10 seconds, you can bridge in one click. So in one click, you make the swap and you make the bridge. So imagine it will be possible to make one click to buy SolidX from some guy on Solana. He will use Sol to buy SolidX directly from PulseChain. This is one of the things we are working on, but it's still a bit early. Before that, we have other stuff, but yeah.
It does seem like the season of fiat on-ramps and getting onboarding, season of onboarding. Maybe that's it. Like we keep seeing all these things, products pop up and, ideals and stuff like that as well. That's really cool to see.
But it's not quite the time, because the season of onboarding only comes after the Ethereum all-time high. So Ethereum tops, and after people are rich with Ethereum, and actually first Bitcoin tops, and then Ethereum tops, and people make money on both, and some profits, and they think to themselves, where can I multiply the gains I made? And that's the moment when Ethereum starts to retrace back down from all-time high. That's the moment that people will look for other investment opportunities. And in that moment, PulseChain must be there ready with full set of tools to take this wave, because that's the natural process. Yeah.
Do you think that, so just kind of going with that idea, do you think we're not going to start, like maybe we're going to run a little bit when Ethereum runs, but we're not going to, we're not going to do some God candles until Ethereum tops?
I hope not. And let me tell you why, RH. I hope not, because think about it. If you were RH and you had the PulseChain sacrifice funds, right? You have like all this ETH, which is worth like 750 million right now. What would you do? Would you start selling right now, or would you wait for maybe like 8K, maybe 9K, as high as possible, to then start scalping a bit and taking some profits into PulseChain at a higher price, So it's like, I'm just considering the PulseChain sec. I'm not considering his personal funds. I'm not assuming that he's going to use his personal funds. If you want to use, be my guest, but he is not obliged to do it. Even the PulseChain sec is not obliged to do it, only if he wants. But people like to assume that it should happen, right? But if it happens, he should be as patient as possible. He should wait for the right moment, because he needs to do a good trade. And we already, the community already judged him for the entry that he got at 3.8K. We don't know exactly the reasons, but most likely he FOMO'd the top, which is okay, the local top, because he had good intentions, okay? So sometimes you make a mistake, but you have good intentions, and it's going to work out in the end. But in order to work, it's like depends. Now we are kind of depending on Richard to see how high we will go on his trade. So if he starts taking profits at 5K, maybe we will have half the pump, compared if he starts to take profits at 8K or 9K, we'll have double the pump. You know what I mean? And it doesn't even need to sell 50% of the bag. Like there's 166,000 ETH. He just needs to sell like 20 or 30% of his bag this cycle, close to the top, around the top. And it's going to be already unbelievable for everyone. If he pumps like, let's say, $200 million into the chain, it's already going to be something unbelievable, because then we will have the green candles, which is all you need in crypto, and people follow green candles. And, again, coming back to my point before, when people already made their money with Ethereum and start looking for other opportunities, they will see PulseChain starting to rip with the green candle like Banana Zone, and they will join Banana Zone, and they will buy the top as well.
Oh. What are the ways? So there's we have whales with big ETH bags. We have the SAC funds. I haven't heard from God. Well, I guess on chain I think Godwell's made some in stakes and stuff, but I haven't seen him on X lately. Retail maybe coming in after Ethereum tops out, looking for other stuff. What are the different ways that we're looking for PulseChain to pump? Like, where's the money going to come from?
I think it's going to come from other chains mostly, and from good marketing, even like online marketing, and also like offline could be well executed. That's why we need to wait and see now. But I think the main goal is by the time the retail is aware of crypto, like, oh my God, people making money, I need to join the retail. And people start to take profits of the main cores and going to the other coins. That's the moment that our marketing and our vibe as a community need to be close to all-time high. So that when everyone is looking for the next big thing, we are here ready telling them, hey guys, this is the next big thing. And in order for that to happen, you need a lot of tools of on-ramp, of off-ramp. You need a lot of green candles. You need a lot of community interaction, a lot of buzz, a lot of media marketing, YouTube, everything together, so that we can get some momentum and then snowball from there. From after the moment retail comes into PulseChain, we need to snowball. And in order to snowball, we like the most important, like I said, is on-ramp, off-ramp, and then good tools inside of PulseChain to make it sticky, so that people, when they interact with PulseChain for the first time, they will like it and they will keep using it. So for that, we need different set of tools to make it sticky and attractive for people to come. I don't know if I replied to.
Oh yeah, no. I was gonna say there's maybe a lot of people turning in their aprons at Subway to go day trade crypto at that point. There'll be a lot of hey, I don't need this job anymore. I'm going all in on crypto every single cycle, every single.
Exactly.
Usually at the top.
At the top, and yeah. But everyone starts like that. It's okay. That's how crypto should start. Like, you hear about it when it's very high, you join the boat, and then it goes down, but then it makes you stronger if you have the balls, because a lot of people don't have the balls for crypto. It's so volatile, it's so painful, and it's better to dedicate your time to something else. And that's why I recommend people to have their own income source and their own business or job outside of crypto, and then you have crypto on the side, because if you are all in on crypto, you will be like schizophrenic, like going to the highs and lows, like, really hurting your future and stuff. So yeah,
it's why, I mean, my first cycle was 2017 cycle, and it was, of course, full perma bull. This thing can never go down. I found the greatest thing ever. We trade all the shit coins here and there. It was just like this euphoria of just like, just throw your money at all the exits. And then you find out.
It was beautiful because it didn't stop going up, and it didn't look like it was going to stop when you are riding it, That's the truth. So, it was real at the time, but then we retraced 98%. Like, this is crypto. And now it's been a long wait, like I think 4 years, right? Maybe since we have a real bull market in our ecosystem, I guess, something like 4 years. So it's coming now, because some people were like already doomsaying the 4-year cycle is over and this time is different. And I see it like everything planning out just exactly the same like the other cycles. We are getting close to October, which was the all-time high of Bitcoin 4 years ago. And now Bitcoin is already in price discovery. It was just recently 123K or something. There was a retracement now. But by October, we should be like 150K plus just on Bitcoin alone.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because the way it works, RH, it's like, I don't know exactly the day, but Ethereum topped 4 years ago, around like 8th of October. It topped. And then Ethereum topped 3 weeks later after that. So it was like end of October. and then HEX stopped also 3 or 4 weeks, 1 month after Ethereum, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I feel like it was around October, November 2021. Yeah.
Exactly. So for our ecosystem in particular, if everything comes like it was 4 years ago, we should have Bitcoin all-time high beginning of October, Ethereum all-time high end of October, and then PulseChain all-time high or HEX all-time high 1 month after that, let's say November. So, but at the same time, I feel like it could be longer and go into the summer of next year. But that's assuming it's going to be different, because if it's the same by December or in January, all the alts already ran and we are going down like in February, March, if it happens like 4 years ago. But I think maybe not.
I think, if it goes in 2026, I mean, just personally, what I think the next 8 months are very important. Not even 6. I feel like going into close to summer, springtime, if the action doesn't happen then, it's just like, when's it going to happen? Like it's got to be within the next 6 to 8 months. Everyone's going to say 6 months. I'm like, I feel like it may go a little bit further into there. Just my personal thinking on it. But we're primed. We're primed though. Macros look good. This ecosystem's starting to pop off with mega marketing. What do you think too about the people at this point leaving the ecosystem, or just still being bearish, or just giving up hope, or otherwise like selling at the lows, dumping, all this stuff? I can't look at it. I can't make any sense of it.
Yeah, we saw a lot of big players, including like top 3, top 5 whale exited completely recently, like a few weeks ago, close to the all-time lows. And it goes to show that crypto is a violent game, volatile game, and it's an emotions game. And some people cannot control their emotions. And the reality is that we had 3 years of pain, maybe 4, and it's too long for people to wait. They don't want to wait longer, and they exit. But if they could be a bit more patient and understand that there are leverages to this thing, and Richard is playing it like the optimal way, close to the optimal way, in the sense that he has a plan, but people don't want to wait for the plan. People are anxious and they want to get rich as soon as possible, but that's not how it works. It's about time. Like you said so many times, it's timing the market, not timing the market. That's a trader's mentality to try to time the market, but we should hodl the good coins and just have time in the market.
I cannot see how mega marketing is a sell the news event. Like, I don't, it just seems like, it's just like the most bullish thing I've ever seen come across the table in this whole year, like being like, wow, there's actually 200,000, 1 million, whatever devices to be sent out to people to onboard them during a time that seems to be great for onboarding, or at least get them familiar with the products. That's exactly what we're looking for, isn't it? Like that's the bullish sentiment part, not the oh, gotta go through another plan with Richard, gotta wait on whatever again. Like it's like, whoa, if you've been waiting this whole time, I feel like the mental model, the sunk cost fallacy. If there's a time where that works out, I'm betting myself it's going to work out this time on the sunk cost fallacy. If I've been waiting this long, this is the news I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and maybe who knows? Maybe it's something really unique, like a new device that it's super amazing, or maybe it's something that people will not find so much interest because it's a mailer. And a mailer, it's always hard to convert the user. But if it's like a good gift, something really special, maybe it can work very well if they are delivering the trucks in the good neighborhoods, not like in the local like gang neighborhood or something.
It's like every neighborhood they try to deliver to is a gated community. Like, oh, but just why? They're so rich though, but we can't get through because the gates.
Open the gates.
Yes, please. We gotta don't bribe anyone, but bribe the guard. No, don't do that.
Mm-hmm. And I hope it works. Really, I really hope it works, and it could work. Could also be an excuse to pump the chart. Would be also nice. But I am kind of an online marketing guy, and I think the best marketing is online marketing, because this is an online thing, crypto, online business. there's money going on, and online marketing works better than everything else. Why? Because sometimes via mail, you will get like, Grandma Betty that will look at the mailer and will say, very good, but how do I bridge into PulseChain? How do I make a wallet? How do I do this and that? And the barrier to entry is so big.
I'll tell you how. Call 1-800-GET-RICH. We got a call center set up. That'd be cool.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've been promoting that number. I don't think it's probably taken, I'm sure, but I think it's a good number. 1-800-GET-RICH. Somebody call it. No, don't. Maybe I'll call it later and be like, what is this?
Yeah, and people would call and would get like a voicemail of Richard saying, like,
hello, buy pressure.
Hello, buy pressure.
You came to the right place, buy pressure. Yeah. Now just go to pulsechain.com. It just says go to pulsechain.com or Liberty Swap. Click the Liberty Swap button. That'd be fine.
What do you think? You think it's going to be like a video of him in the device, or?
I think the leading theory is some sort of media, whether it's audio, video, but very, very much like a call to action type of thing. But it could just be, something, just useful and around the house, and something that's it's like kind of the, with HEX, you have the subliminal, you see hex guns everywhere, right? Like it's honeycombs and it's urinals and it's, you just see hex gun every time you see hex gun, the hex.com type of deal. It could be some sort of, you see these logos and it kind of reminds you of other things in daily life. Something that's, I can't imagine it's going to be underwhelming. Like, I don't want to say it's going to be the best thing ever, but I can't imagine all this time, energy, effort, coordination, people in the community getting involved, doing all this stuff. I can't imagine it's going to be like, really? That's it? It's going to be like, I imagine it's more going to be like, whoa, that's cool. All right, let's go. It's going to get people excited, I think.
Because now there's a lot of expectation about it already. I just hope it's not like, it will not be, of course, an hardware wallet, because an hardware wallet is always like tricky. But what they could do is like a QR code. And when you scan the QR code, you automatically get, I don't know, $50 on Liberty Swap to bridge into one of the coins on PulseChain, for example, for free by scanning the QR code. For example, I think that would be a good idea. If not,
I was gonna say, here's another idea. Like it's like a Starbucks gift card or something, but it's PulseChain branded. Like we made like some partnership with like some popular company where you're gonna keep it around for a while. It's rechargeable.
Small budget there.
There's something where and it could be something where it just, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be more than just an onboarding tool. Like, I think it'll be completely both. It'll be like, wow, this is totally something I'm going to use in general life, and also something that's going to remind me that when crypto's popping off, this is the one I need to buy. This is the one I need to go to the website and get, or something, something like that.
Exactly.
But let's get into SolidX and all that stuff too, because I'm curious. There's FireWhale, SolidHEX, SolidX. Where did this come from? Where did you? Because I remember when it first launched, you were talking about like SolidX is a better Bitcoin. You were maybe positioning it like that. But how did it come about?
So in the beginning, when I created SolidX, it was just a meme, because I discussed with Randy, like, what coin name should I create? And he said, why don't you create your own name? And I was like, what do you mean, SolidHEX? With the hex, which is my nickname is kind of solid. And hex is the coin I was supporting, and the community I was supporting. And I was like, oh, okay, sounds good, but I don't want to write hex like the Tengang guys on the ticker. I don't want to like copy this stuff. So I just SolidHEX. And then I had the idea for the X to represent like solid ecosystem, my ecosystem, And then solid is just my nickname. It comes from the games back on PlayStation 1. There was a cool game called Metal Gear Solid, where the Solid Snake was the main guy. And I love this character, and I was like solid because of this guy. So then after SolidX, I think it made sense to create SolidX. And I had some people asking me, are you doing a hex, but this time solid? Because the old hex is not solid. And I was like, what? No. This is just about my my nickname, and I see the HEX as ecosystem, or as kind of an unknown matter that we are trying to build. And it's funny because when I created SolidX, it was a spontaneous decision. I wanted to create a token, my first token, but initially, and I don't want to give a lot of prana to him, but I tried to make a token about Somi, or trolling Somi, so to speak. The token was called Soimi because he's always saying soy, right? So I thought Soimi was funny. And I made a token called Soimi. And then I launched it and I said I was going to support and stuff. And the token started to go parabolic as well in the first few days. But then I had this brilliant idea of sending 10% of the supply of the token to Somi, so that he would be the Satoshi of the token Soimi, because the token also had 21 million like Bitcoin or like SolidX. And I sent him 10% of the supply, was like 2.1 million tokens. And to see how he would respond, I didn't speak directly to him. I tried to chat with him, but he's so important guy, you know, that he didn't reply. Now I realized it's just stupid. But what did he do with the 2.1 million, which was at the moment, at some time when I launched the token, around $6 million that I sent Somi for free, you know? What did he do? He made a sell wall on 9mm V3 around $3 of this token Somi. He put a sell wall that if the sell wall would be filled in full, he would get $60 million for him by people trying to pump the token in the community, you know. So since he was not replying on the first day and he made the sell wall after I sent the tokens, I was like, okay, this guy is an idiot. He's trying to make some fast money. He didn't even try to see who is the people behind the project. There was information online and stuff. He just decided to make a quick buck. But I decided, okay, I'll give him a chance. Maybe he didn't understand yet what's happening. And I thought to myself, and I told Randy, I'm going to give him 24 hours to see what he does with the sell wall. And if he doesn't pull the sell wall in 24 hours, I will give up on this token, you know. So then I waited 24 hours. And after 24 hours, I check chain analysis and I see that Somi already, with the sell wall, already made 250 or 60K profit in 24 hours with the sell wall of my token. And the sell wall was still there after 24 hours. And I thought, okay, he doesn't support this coin. He's selling it as much as possible. He's really, like, literally cock blocking the price on the way up. So the price was locked at $3, was not going up, was just flat there with him buying, like taking all the buy pressure. And I said on some chat, I said, I don't support this token anymore. And then I didn't even dump the token. I don't do that. But some people saw my call and they dumped it to zero instantly, this token of Somi. But then I was a bit disappointed with Somi reaction. And I was also like sad that a lot of people believed in me and in my token and lost a lot of money on this token. So I was emotional on that day and I decided, no, I'm going to fix this. I'm going to make it right, and I'm going to create another token, this time like with my own reputation there, instead of like making some meme coin for some random, you know, YouTuber. And I went with SolidX. And then it was like something unbelievable. Like this time the dev, so to speak, was not putting, you know, V3 sell walls at $3. So the same supply of I put $21 million, just like Bitcoin, because I like the chart of Bitcoin. So the supply is very important to paint the chart. And I knew that we were going to do a good chart because I was not going to reg it. I was not going to avoid it to go up at any point. So then I had one or two whales backing me as well, including my own investment of millions of dollars, maybe in total close to $2 million that I pumped in the beginning on SolidX. And we went from $0.001 to $270 in a space of 12 days. So that's 265,000 X's in 12 days. And this never happened before, never on HEX, never on any other coin in the ecosystem. It's something unique to this day. In terms of momentum, like every day after launch, there was a new all-time high, and there was no sacrifice. There was nothing. Just people bought when it was out like a meme, and it ran unbelievably well. But then I tried to be nice, and when the price was around retracing around the $80-$70, I took the LP from the main pair, the SolidX PLS pair, while going up in price. You can imagine that the PLS on the side of the pair will be much bigger there, right? Much more money there. And at some point, it was like 700K that I had there on the main pair in the LP because the price was going so high of SolidX. And I decided, okay, I'm going to take this LP, this PLS, and I'm going to use the new PLS that I get from this LP that I'm providing liquidity, and I'm going to pump the chart to try to keep the price level around $100. So I pumped like 700K in one day, and the price went from like $70 or $60 to $100 again. And then it traded around there, $190, but eventually people had so many gains, and also PulseChain price action was kind of going down. So we were going down with it. All the chain was going down with it. And then now we went to as low as $5, and now we are trending around $13, I think, $12. So then, just to keep my train of thought, I realized, okay, if I keep pumping my own personal money into this coin, people will dump on me because a lot of people have big supply and they will take profits. So it doesn't work. I have to find a better strategy to make my coin the best and make my coin have the best price performance. And that's the moment I started to think about ideas and cool ways to pump the chart. And then, since I already had like 15 years of experience working in the gambling industry, I had this idea: why don't I create an online casino that is fully Web3 crypto casino, but then the profits, instead of going to the shareholders of the casino, the profits are going directly to buy and burn the token. And I thought this was a very creative, unique idea that I've never heard about before. And I thought it could really work. Why? Because the cryptos that will win long term are the cryptos that have more income sources, more money flowing in, right? And then I decided crypto in a way is already gambling. And proof of that is that the margin trading, the leverage trading, is still one of the most used tools in crypto. And that's pure gambling. That's just speculation. You go 30x long, 20x short, whatever, and you will lose many times because the market tricks you to, just the way it is. So I thought, if the margin trading is so big, I'm sure gambling, if done well, can also be big because it's well correlated and it's just gambling like everything else. And that's when I decided to build from scratch. What we are doing is building from scratch an online casino platform, fully integrated on the blockchain, Web3. And it's going to be not only the first ever online casino that will be multi-layer one casino, which means we will be available on different layer ones rather than just one chain, because all the casinos you have so far, they are available on only one chain. And we will be available on multi-chains. So that's already something special. And then we have other cool surprises now, because I'm already talking about SolidX, but I don't know if you want to stop me a bit.
No, I was gonna just ask, like, what is your ideal? And I think you're going to go into it with the ecosystem of SolidX, and like, what is it meant to be on PulseChain?
Exactly. So my concept was like, I know that gambling is destructive for the average user in the way that most people will lose, only small ones win, and the house always wins. So I was thinking, like, how can I turn something as destructive as gambling, and even leverage trading is also destructive, into something positive? And I felt like one of the ways was to use this destructive force to pump one coin, in this case my coin, And I started to imagine, like, if I can have a product with different casino games that are successful and well executed, then people will be playing the game and pumping not only SolidX, but also the whole PulseChain ecosystem, because SolidX is so so well bonded with the Richard Hart core tokens. There's such thick liquidity that if SolidX pumps, everything will pump together because of SolidX. So then few of unique features compared to other sub-communities that SolidX has. I think we are one of the first, one of the few sub-communities, ecosystems that we are acting like a business. We already have like 12, 13 people, mostly developers. We have like 2 front-end developers, 2 back-end developers, 1 guy just for indexing on the blockchain, 1 guy just to be the animator of the games, 1 guy just designer, you see. But we are already 12 or 13 and only like top skilled people, you know, very proficient at their skill, at their niche, what they do. And I'm going for something big because I'm building this like a business. I want to have different verticals, different products that are generating passive income or an income source that I will then funnel to SolidX. And I ask you, how many projects will be available on different chains, and they will transfer economic energy from those chains to PulseChain long term? I don't see any except SolidX with this ambition at the moment, you know. Maybe I'm not looking deep enough. But
could we dig into that? How being multi-chain, how does that funnel economic energy into PulseChain?
Of course. So to make it simple, we will have 2 main websites. One is going to be SolidX.win, and it's going to be SolidX.win is going to be full PulseChain oriented and related. So on SolidX.win, you will find the Solid Trader bot. You will find very soon, very shortly, a staking. You can stake your SolidX. And you will also find on SolidX.win, by staking your SolidX, you will have a card, physical card, that you will then be able to use for on-ramp, off-ramp, and there will be an app where you can use your card to off-ramp and on-ramp and off-ramp. And depending on your tier on SolidX staking, you will even have some features like offshore bank account connected to your account, for example. So on SolidX.win, we will have like banking, we will have staking, we will have like the blue chip stuff on SolidX.win. And then on xgame.io, we will have the multi-layer project where you will have xgame.io, which will be an online Web3 casino. You connect your wallet and you will have different games to play, casino games. The first one will be the crash game. And the second game is going to be something unique, never made before. And I think it could be even become viral because it's really amazing. But the whole concept is the xgame.io will have a tab on top with multiple chains, layer 1s. Initially, I want to have at least 5. I think it will be PulseChain, Base, Mega ETH, BNB, and maybe Sonic, maybe. And our goal is to keep integrating as many layer 1s as possible, the successful ones. Why? Because if our game becomes successful there, with the influencers there, and with the chain and the community there, without them realizing, because that's the trick here, on the xgame.io, it's just an online casino. It doesn't speak about SolidX. Of course, if you dig it deep enough on the website xgame.io, you will see information about what's happening. But for the normal user, let's say on Binance Smart Chain, they will not see straight ahead information about what we are doing with SolidX. They will just be able to log into the casino, make a deposit, and play the game. And then by then, our strategy will be key to find the right influencers and right promoters on those chains, including, I already have the contact of Jesse Poliak, I think it's his name. He's the CEO of Base, layer 1 chain. So we already have his contact. He's just waiting for our product to be ready. And looks like he will tell his network of connected people, like influencers and marketing guys on Base, to promote the X game. And they are very excited to do it. Why? Because that's another unique thing in SolidX. To every product that I will provide, I think most of the product at least, when I provide the product, I provide an affiliate platform as well. An affiliate platform, just like HEX had during the first year. HEX had an affiliate platform, which was very nice and very successful. And it was the main reason why HEX and PulseChain today is still one of the chains with bigger community, and in particular with more YouTubers. Why? Because the YouTubers were using the ref links to make extra hex in the beginning, but then after 1 year it was deleted. I think it was a mistake. Richard should have kept it long term, because for this kind of online products, the affiliate platforms are key to keep these products alive. Because if the people who are promoting the products, they are making money, they will keep promoting the products and it will live organically by itself. You know what I mean? So that's why I believe a lot in affiliate marketing, especially when related to crypto and any online business, online marketing. Affiliate marketing can be huge, because by the time X game goes live, people like you, RH, I don't know if you want to promote it or not, but let's say you promote, you will have your tracking link, xgame.io/RHMax. And then if someone clicks on your link and they make a deposit, they will be your player forever, meaning that every deposit they make into the future, into infinity, if they lose money, not if they win, but if they lose money, you will get a cut of 30% or whatever they lose. So if you bring, let's say, 50, 100 players and they lose an amount, you will get 30% because you are the affiliate, you are the person that brought this user to our product. So you deserve to be rewarded. You know what I mean? So that's why we already have an affiliate platform for the Solid Trader bot. I recommend you to check it. Go to solidx.win and check the Solid Trader bot. It's an amazing tool. It was quite expensive. People think it's like, oh, Telegram bot, a scam. Yeah, it's a scam that cost me $150,000 and it's still costing every month. So it's a very powerful tool, very good devs. It's one of the, if not the best, one of the best Telegram bots for trading. And then we will also be the first Telegram casino ever. That's another one, RH.
Wow. I was just going to say too, you made me think of on the affiliate marketing on the devices being sent out. I wonder if it'll be, if he's going to restart the affiliate program in a different way and be like, oh, here's your device and it does all these things,
That's
and
amazing. That's an amazing idea. You could.
Right. If you onboard more people, if you onboard 5 people, then you get, whatever.
Exactly. Listen, Max, he was the guy that was always saying, we need to use the tricks of the scams and the MLM stuff, but use it for the good, to get users in a good way. And that was something like along these lines. He could do it and it could work very well if well done. So yeah, that's a good one.
It sounds like you're investing pretty heavily on Telegram too. On you mentioned with the trading bot and the casino part.
Yeah, exactly.
Why Telegram?
Now, that's another one. So I believe in Telegram has the kind of blue chip of social media privacy and freedom of speech, even at a higher level than X.com. So, I think they are going to do very well because they already have their own wallet. They are already inside Web3. And as soon as the first applications from Web3 start to become popular, I think Telegram will be popular. And then it's like a lot of the crypto user base uses Telegram. So that's why me and the devs, we decided to hire a new guy that he's very good at making Telegram mini games, these games that you click, opens a new chat on Telegram, and you will be able to play, let's say, coin flip or blackjack mini game instantly, And then we hired this guy. He's already working on that. We will have the first ever full Telegram casino being built, and it will be connected because one of the things we are working very deeply on is our identity service. And why is this important? Because since we will have different products, different verticals touching different industries, we need to have a strong identity service system that automatically identifies our users, doesn't matter which product they are using, they will still be logged on instantly because we recognize them. So that's another very unique aspect of our ecosystem, is that when you use one product, if you decide to use another one, in the future you will be already recognized, logged, if the wallet is the same,
Gotcha.
And that's another good, powerful point about our stuff. But all in all, I think we are one of the ecosystems, if not the one with more potential on PulseChain for many reasons. Number one, I'm already a big player inside of the ecosystem, so I have a lot of leverage on like the same way Richard is using Vitalik as leverage. I am using Richard as leverage with my SolidX project, you know. So that's one, and then I'm planning everything like 5-10 years into the future, like long term. I'm not planning stuff for now. I'm planning for many years. So that's why I'm trying to make a full suite, an ecosystem where you have different products, and the bigger PulseChain grows, the bigger SolidX will grow as well if we keep doing cool stuff. And then, you know, eventually we will have a lot of income coming from the different products we are offering, and we will be able to use that income to pump SolidX. And the most genius part is using that income from other chains. So imagine this situation, Max. Imagine I launch the X game and it's doing well on PulseChain, but nothing amazing. But then eventually I find like good influencers, good partners on Base chain, let's say, Coinbase, Base Layer 1. And then the X game starts to reap there, starts to do really well, really good numbers. So then, even though it didn't work out so well on PulseChain and it's working out on better on Base, we are bridging that economic energy inside PulseChain. And that's just like genius. I don't see any other ecosystem inside of PulseChain doing this kind of stuff.
Would it bridge the profits, or how would it do that?
So let's say we have the X game running on Base, right? And it's there, let's say 2 months. Over the course of 2 months, we generated in profit $1 million on Base. What I will then do is I will take this $1 million and pump SolidX on PulseChain. So even if the money is coming from Base or Sonic or BNB, Binance Smart Chain, any other chain, instead of the profit going to the shareholder of the casino, in this case, the SolidX holders and stakers are the shareholders of the casino, and the money will be redirected to SolidX. And of course, I could keep the money to myself, but this is something more special, you know. I want to make the token the most successful. So how can I make the token the most successful? I need to be able to pump it more than anyone else. And that's what I'm thinking about, you know. And sometimes I get a bit disappointed with PulseChain because I don't see anyone like on my level when it comes to long-term vision and what they are trying to do. Even this Maria guy, like, it looked to have good intentions in the beginning, and he was the guy that made the like PDAI was the best performing token on PulseChain so far. But then he also breached a lot of money out of the PulseChain, and Richard was public about that. And even though I was a believer also in PDAI, I realized, because I thought Richard was behind it, but then Richard was quite clear and direct, and he said that he was not behind it. And then I was like, okay, so it was just this Maria midget guy all along. And now he's bridging most of the profits out of the chain, and Richard doesn't like it, you know. So I was like, nice. One of the things that I was more hopeful for, the first ever full decentralized stable, it's outside of Richard plans right now, and there are reasons for that. But people still believe in these just because they made some money in the first wave. They made some profits. Now they will be with Maria guy until the end. And I was like, no, I'm with Richard until the end. I don't care about this midget. This midget tried to go to Europe and take the stage like with the shining suit, like if he was Richard in Europe, bro. And I was like, who the fuck is this guy? He was trying to vampire attack Richard, and he did. And that's why Richard had to be very strong, because this Maria guy was getting a lot of control, a lot of power. This was almost, PulseChain was almost his chain at some point. And it cannot be. This is not his fucking chain. This is Richard Hart's chain. So I'm going to do my best to help Richard. I'm doing something that other guys are not doing. I will try to bridge and get money from other chains, which might end up being key for PulseChain in the end. Look, there might be an alternate universe where the X game does amazing and it's like outperforming everything else and pumping PulseChain by itself. Maybe. It's like one of the possibility in case we get like, let's say 1,000, 2,000 active users per day playing the X game, then we will outperform everything else because I know about the gambling potential and the industry P&L and so on. So I don't want to sound too arrogant, but I'm a bit disappointed because since PulseChain was launched, I only made money farming ink. I invested in more than 15 or 20 different projects on PulseChain, and I lost money in all of them. Yes, PulseChain price performance doesn't help as well to any coin. And even if I built the best coin with SolidX, it would get a correction just because of the PulseChain performance, you know. But I believed a lot in different people. 9inch, I sacrificed $2.3 million for a 9inch max. Like, it was a lot of money, a big belief. And Kino, the main dev, did amazing. He released very powerful tools. They made a good DEX, but yeah, I don't want to flood my own bag, so I will stop here. But then, because I still have 9inch, I didn't sell. I'm not a seller, you know. I hold what I believe will work one day, and 9inch didn't work so far. They did well with the BitBoy like momentum that was following SolidX launch momentum. They were doing well, but so far they have a lot to prove, and maybe with time they will prove. That's why you should never like decide your mind about anyone, because people have time to redeem themselves and show that they had good intentions and stuff. But my main point is, like, I invested so much in other projects. I was trying to help the PulseChain ecosystem in general to grow. And I find myself disappointed because most people took profits and rugged. And I was like, okay, I'll tell you what, I don't give a fuck about these small cap coins anymore, and I'm going to do my own stuff. Well done. The way I know how to do stuff, I'm going to do it well. And I'm going to show everyone on this chain who, you know, how to do it. So
yeah, very ambitious and building out the ecosystem, and definitely put a lot of money into PulseChain. It makes me, yeah, as we wrap up here too, great conversation. But it just makes me, I just want to ask you too, like, what makes you think PulseChain will succeed? Because there's plenty of counterpoints, there's plenty of constructive and not constructive criticism out there for PulseChain, for Richard. He needs to come back in the live stream, all this stuff. What makes you so confident that this is the place to be and to put your energy and capital and build all this stuff on?
To be honest, I'll be honest about this question, which is a very important question, but the most bullish thing to me is not even the tech. It's not PulseX. It's not the possibilities of new products. I think the most bullish thing about this community is our leader, is Richard, you know. He's like the most bullish thing. And that's why we are missing out so much, because he's not streaming anymore. So he's more like, even he's active on Twitter. We don't have the same connection with him like we used to have before, you know. But I know Richard. I know he has good intentions. I know he knows about crypto more than most, and more, you know, like few do about crypto. And he's not perfect. He made some mistakes with our bags of PulseChain, whatever. But the intention is there, and we are still gonna win in the end. Because people need to realize, like, think about Richard, like the kind of guy that knows very well about scams, you know. And maybe back in the day when he was doing the email, like spamming emails, this is kind of a scam, even though it's just marketing, but, you know. So he has close contact with the scam, and he decided to fight it as much as he can and to try to be a force of good, especially in this space of crypto. And because he has so good knowledge about the scams, that's a very good weapon on his side, because he knows what sucks, he knows what doesn't work, and he knows what not to do. So now he, you know, we can believe in him in different ways. So we can believe in him in the way that he will manage his own PulseChain SEC bag. That's one point. We can believe in him in the way that at the right moment he will have the marketing stunt that will bring us to the moon. Or we can just believe in him in the way that, you know, if he decides to keep a low profile for the legal reasons and stuff, we need to be here for him as well and help him to fulfill his vision. and especially the guys that got more rewarded from his stuff, from his creations. I'm one of them. I'm one of the people that made more money with Richard. So I have this urge to give back, urge that many people for sure share, like OGs, like, you know, Wild SJ and Captain, all these people, they are so glad for Richard that they want to help him back, especially the OGs. So I'm one more, and I was away for most of the time. Like I was just a guy behind following HEX and the streams for like 3 years, I think. And then one day I was browsing this website, xscout.com, and on the portfolio I saw like the dev put like FireWhale and Godwell and the Dreamer account, which I think was Majid. What was the name of the
Kareem?
Kareem, yeah, Kareem. So Kareem was one, Godwell was another one, and the FireWhale, I was curious, who is this guy? You know, and I clicked FireWhale, and then it was my wallet, and I was like, what the fuck? Looks like I'm the FireWhale. It kind of sounds good, you know, and I adopted it from there. And yeah, it was just like a sign someone in the community knew my one of my wallets, and they respected my actions and stuff, and they put FireWhale. And that was kind of the trigger for me to become more engaged in this community and try to help Richard. Also, like the timing when I decided to create my token, there was a lot of FUD and stuff about Richard, and I wanted to create some goodness in that during that period of time. And I think I managed to do it. You know, a lot of people made crazy gains on SolidX, unbelievable gains. You know, if they joined on the first day, and a lot of these people that made gains with SolidX then sold the gains back to Richard Hart cores. So I'm happy for that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I feel compelled to following Richard since 2017, and of course HEX and PulseChain, all this stuff. And I just feel like if he wins, it's good. Like it's good for not only for our bags, but it's like good for the world. Like you said, being a force for good in the world. Like I believe he's going to be.
And especially now, Max. Look, all he had to go through with the SEC and Interpol. I can imagine like how much like will he has inside to show the world that, you know, he's not who people think he is. So I used to tell my guys, like, the real player, you only see the real players. This is thinking about the soccer perspective, but makes sense in this case as well. You only see who are the real players under pressure. And when Richard was under pressure, look what he did. He fought like a warrior, and he won against the SEC. He was one of the first ones to beat them. So that's telling you something, you know? That's signaling something of what's to come.
His name is not Richard Hart lose. It's Richard Hart win. People forget that. It's easy to be like, because he's not streaming, it's easy to be like, oh, he's, you know, you guys think he's a god or something. And, you know, he's like, why would he do anything? He doesn't, you know, he's just going to do whatever he wants and he doesn't really care about you. It's easy to say all these things when he's not streaming. I bet when he's streaming, his first, if he comes back live streaming, I bet his first live stream will have, I don't know, 10,000.
I think it would break the internet. Like, if the first ever, if he's streaming like from a throne in another house, imagine he starts streaming from a throne in another house. Everyone would message their network saying, look, he's live right now. Look at this. So this is another, you see, this is another tool, a marketing tool that he could use at the right time. And, you know, for whatever reason, he could just come back and like have a plan. So
hello, everyone. Hello. I'm streaming from the moon right now. Are you happy about the extra 10,000x? I bet you are. By pressure. I don't know what he calls it at this point. You got to come up with a new pressure phrase.
Yeah, you were doubting me that I couldn't do 10,000x again. Yeah. So here I am.
Yeah. What's the quote from Highest Stakes? He's like, all of you out there. What do you say? All of you out there that thought that you were smarter than me, or all the haters out there, you're all wrecked, or you know, something like that. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, that's his motto. Like, he wants to shut down the haters. It's kind of makes sense because it's like one of the energy forces that can drive more a human being is the haters. If you can channel it to, you know, in a good way, and you see a lot of like top people doing that. Like Richard did it very well. I don't know. My boy, I'm Portuguese, so my boy Cristiano Ronaldo was one of the best guys shutting up the haters. You know, like they would say, you're a shit player, you don't know how to play, just physique and stuff. On the next game, hat-trick, and like shut the fuck up.
Well, now we got to put Richard's face on a Ronaldo meme now. Let's do it.
Why not doing the sir?
Exactly. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the conversation. What do you want to take us out on? What's next? Where can people find out more about SolidX stuff? Like what's good?
Yeah. So they can go to our Twitter account. Just search for SolidX.win or our website SolidX.win. You can use the Trader bot. It's a very powerful tool. It's the only product we have live right now. It's the Solid Trader bot. The X game is coming soon, hopefully in the next month and a half. So I'm very excited for that, along with staking, the SolidX staking, which will be very unique, never been done before. I hope you guys like it. And we will have more surprises also into the future. But yeah, I would like to tell everyone, like, the wait is over. The time to pump is now. Alt season is now. It's about to start, and it's going to last hopefully 1 year. Let's see. But be patient, be patient. Richard has a plan. I have a plan. I have a timeline of like planned events and kind of tricks under my sleeve when the time is right. So make sure you join SolidX right now, because otherwise you will regret it when you start seeing the rage pump in real time.
I'm excited for it. I think everyone's looking for that glory run. Let's go mint some millionaires, mint some decamillionaires, mint some even billionaires.
It's time. It's time, Max. Now is the time.
Love it. All right, everyone. That's all we got for you today. Scivive 5555. You're out.
Peace out.
HEX is complete. Project not complete. They're not the same thing. Promise returns and go build something. How much X is Bitcoin up now? 1,000 X over a penny. Who's designed to replace fiat currency? Back to the 10,000 X. Smart fucker I am. Everyone else cries and whines like a little bitch. 1,000 X over a penny. Who's designed to replace fiat currency? Back to the 10,000 X. Smart fucker I am. Well, then it was fucking designed. 10,000x, it's impossible. How can he do that? Listen, you stupid fucks. Everything else is up higher. Bitcoin to 2 million x. $1,500 fucking dollars.